Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be joined by Big D from Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews, and we're going to be doing a review of the 2007 movie Ratatouille. So in this movie, a rat named Remy dreams of becoming a great French chef despite his family's wishes and the obvious problem of being a rat in a decidedly rodent-phobic profession. When fate places Remy in the sewers of Paris, he finds himself ideally situated beneath the restaurant made famous by his culinary hero, Auguste Gusteau. And despite the apparent dangers of being an unlikely and certainly unwanted visitor in the kitchen of a fine French restaurant, Remy's passion for cooking soon sets into motion a hilarious and exciting rat race that turns the culinary world of Paris upside down. So before I get into my thoughts, I'm going to let Big D do his part, so take it away, Big D.
Hey everyone, this is the Big D from Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews here. And I'm about to join Ogre Boy for another Pixar Friday. This time it's going to be Ratatouille from 2007. Despite I've only seen this film a few times, I will say this film is very, very good and what have you. I probably would think this would be one of my favorites, and I'm pretty sure it will be. Now, the story for the film, I think, was really good. Following the story of a young rat who dreams of becoming a chef at a restaurant and tries to achieve his goal by forming an alliance with the restaurant's garbage boy. The animation for Ratatouille, I think, was very, very superb. Also, given the fact it was directed by Brad Bird, who recently did Pixar's big hit The Incredibles 3 years before this. Now, I also like the atmosphere and what have you, of it taking place in Paris and what have you. I thought that was really incredible. The film also does have a lot of pretty fun humor and stuff like that as well. Now, as for the voice acting cast, Patton Oswalt did a great job as Remy. He was very good. Lou Ramal voiced Alfredo Linguini, the garbage boy who becomes friends with Remy. We also have Ian Holm, Brad Garrett, Pierre O'Toole, and Janine Garofalo. Oh yeah, and Will Arnett as well. They were all very good. Now, the score from Michael Giacchino, who, of course, did scores for some other great films and what have you, he did an exceptionally good job with the score for this film. But of the whole, I feel like Ratatouille is definitely a very good Disney Pixar film. Again, as I've said, I'd say it will probably make my top 10 favorites. I'll just have to figure that one out. But nevertheless, I really think you should check out Ratatouille. It's a very good film, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So, as always, thanks for making me a part of this, Ogre Boy. Until next time, this is the Big D saying see ya.
Thank you, Big D, for joining me on this, and I agree with you on this movie. This movie is great. I think it is. I think this is one of those movies that the concept, that just thinking of the concept of a rat wanting to be a chef, just doesn't really sound that appealing. And I remember when this movie came out, this was actually like one of the first Pixar movies that I wasn't really excited for, because just the idea of a rat wanting to be a chef didn't really sound that appealing to me. And my friend ended up getting to watch it in high school and stuff. He watched it in his cooking class, and he told me that I needed to see it and stuff. So like later that evening, I rented it at the Redbox, and a couple days later, it was still playing at one of my local theaters. So I rushed to see it because I thought it was going to be the first Pixar movie that I wasn't going to see in the theater. But I was able to catch it like right before it left. and everything after I had already seen it on DVD. So this was like the only time where I saw a Pixar movie on DVD before I saw it in the theater. But the only other time was Toy Story, which I saw that on video. But yeah, I didn't think this movie was going to be that good because the concept just did not sound that appealing to me. And but because Pixar was on the top of their game at the time, this is like peak Pixar. The early 2000s was their biggest, from the time Toy Story came out up until really Toy Story 3. They were on a big winning streak and everything. I feel like from Toy Story to Toy Story 3, all of the Pixar movies had been big successes, were critically acclaimed and loved by audiences. I didn't know any kid that didn't really love the Pixar movies, and most of the people from my generation, I feel like, preferred Pixar over Disney and stuff at the time and everything. I know I sure did. The early 2000s was definitely better to Pixar and DreamWorks Animation than it was Disney Animation. But they were on the top of their game, and they put that Pixar magic in here and just made this movie work and everything. It turned out to be really great. I think Remy is absolutely one of my favorite main characters in a Pixar movie. I just absolutely love him, and I love his friendship with Linguini and how they work together throughout the movie. And I love how like Linguini like questions his sanity throughout the whole movie too, and everything. And he finally comes to accept that like he really does need Remy in his life and stuff, and that they kind of need each other to make their dreams come true. And it just works really well. It's a really well written story, and with really great characters, and the animation is great too. I think it's some of Pixar's best animation, and everything. It's not as photorealistic as some of their newer movies and stuff, but it still looks gorgeous and everything. I love the way it looks and everything. It holds up really well. Michael Giacchino's score is once again excellent. It wasn't as strong as his score for The Incredibles, but it's still really great. And everything. And I love that this movie is directed by Brad Bird, who also did The Incredibles. And before he did The Incredibles, he did The Iron Giant, which I think is actually his best movie. And everything. I think that was the best one out of the ones that he's directed that I've seen. And everything as far as the animated movies go. But I love this movie. I think this is probably, while it might be my least favorite out of the ones that he's directed, it's definitely the most underrated out of the one he's directed too, because I feel like this is one of the rare Pixar movies that, even though it is well beloved and it was critically acclaimed when it first came out and everything, people don't talk about Ratatouille. Like when you talk about Pixar, everyone mentions Toy Story, Monsters Inc., The Incredibles, Finding Nemo, Cars, and all of them, but Ratatouille doesn't get talked about as much, and I think it's a shame because this movie is really good and everything. And I love like the whole family part of the story too, with Remy and his family and dealing with the problems with his dad. It was pretty well written. It was a little bit predictable, but it was well written. And I love like the relationship with his brother, who likes to eat a lot and stuff, and like his brother is like supportive of Remy's dream and stuff, but he also is like wanting to just live his own life and stuff. But Emil is just a really lovable character and everything, and he's great too. And I think Patton Oswalt as Remy is a really great casted character for this movie too. I think all the Pixar movies have great casts, and I think he did a really good job and everything. But yeah, so I really love this movie, and I will say, as far as negatives go, it's not really a negative. It's more of just a kind of a nitpick, because it's not really a negative, because this movie is really well done and everything. But I do wish that it could have been like maybe, say, 15 to 20 minutes longer, just to add a little bit more to it, just add more of the family dynamic and stuff, and add a little bit more maybe at the beginning and a little more at the end, just to to make it feel a little more I wouldn't say fleshed out, because it's a fine movie the way it is and stuff. I just wish that they could have added a little bit more, because I wanted to spend a little bit more time with these characters, if that makes sense. It's not really that there's anything wrong with the movie itself and everything. This movie feels so much shorter than it is. It's almost a 2-hour movie, but the pacing is a little too good in this movie. I just wish they could have slowed it down just a little bit and added a little bit more stuff with the characters and everything, just because I would have liked to see more with it. I would have loved to see like a little bit more of like maybe some stuff with Gusto and everything, more of his history, learn more about it and everything. I think we learned enough in the movie, but it would have been cool to learn more about it. And this is one that I wouldn't mind seeing like a short film. I don't think we need a full-fledged sequel, but I would love to see maybe like a short film or something of Ratatouille and stuff. They've done it with Up and stuff in recent years. They did the Duck Days and then the Up short that Carl's Date that played with Elemental and stuff. So and they've done it with Toy Story and Cars and stuff. So it's like I think they should do short films with some other Pixar characters and stuff. And I think Ratatouille is definitely one of the ones that they should do short films on and stuff. And the only thing that I guess I could say is a negative, and I've said it about all of the Pixar movies since Monsters Inc. And I think I've said it in every review, but I really wish that we would have had the Pixar bloopers in this movie, because I think there would have been some really good ones. This movie had some really funny jokes and stuff too, and it has some of the best adult jokes in Pixar movies too, especially the part when Linguini is talking to his girlfriend. I totally, her name just slipped my mind, but when he's talking to her and he's like trying to tell her that he has a rat, and he's like, I have a little, and she like just, her eyes just glance down at his private area and stuff. It just hilarious, blink and you miss it adult joke in the movie. And there the other one is, I don't know if it's just an adult joke or if it's just me having a dirty mind, but when I think his name's Anton Ego, the food critic, every time I watch this movie and he says, if I don't like it, I don't swallow, I'm like, okay, that is way more information than I needed to know, dude. But I love this movie, and Ratatouille is a great Pixar movie. It really is one of their best, and one of their underrated ones too. So I'd say I'd give it, go as far to say that Ratatouille is an A+. It's to me, it's one of Pixar's masterpieces. It's a great movie. I watched it twice, because the first time I watched it, I had a lot of stuff going on and everything in my personal life. There was some crazy stuff going on, and everything, and that's why I didn't review it last week, because I just didn't get to focus on it, and I wanted to give the movie the attention it deserves, because it's a really great movie. So I rewatched it, and it just kind of cemented my love watching it twice within 2 weeks and everything. It's like, man, I forgot how good this movie is and everything, and I've been feeling that on a lot of the Pixar. It's like I'm starting to remember why I've always been a huge Pixar fan. Like these movies hold up so well and everything, and I was really worried they wouldn't because of them being computer animated, but they still hold up really well, and this one is no exception. So anyway, thank you Big D for joining me on this video. I'm sorry that it was a week late, but it worked out and everything, because we both kind of had some delays going on and everything, so it worked out for both of us and everything. I'm glad you were able to do this, and can't wait to work with you on the next one. I think we're doing Wall-E next week, so I'm looking forward to that one. That's one of those that is kind of like Ratatouille. I always forget how much I enjoy it when I watch it, so looking forward to seeing how much more I enjoy this one now, because I haven't seen Wall-E in a really long time. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Ratatouille, and hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.